welcome to Find You Fridays. Today on this very, very special Friday the 13th. I don't know that we've ever had a Friday the 13th, so how cool is that? It is, of course, the 13th of October, which means that we are halfway through to getting to that wonderful time of year where it is Halloween or All Hallows Eve or whatever you would like to call it. I know there is many names depending on what you are into. So let me chuck this one up and we'll go, hello. How are you going, Melinda? Oh my goodness. Have to get my podcasting legs back in, haven't I? It's been 2 weeks. Well, 1 week off for you guys, but 2 weeks in between, and it's been fun. It's been a well-deserved break, and I will talk a little about my QHHT session that I had last Friday. It was really, really cool. I loved it, and there has been a lot come up since then, so awesome. So Melinda, thank you very much for popping through your donation nice and early. Super appreciate it. We'll get to yours as soon as we're done with the group reading, if that's okay. Water. Really, 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 really important. All right, so let's get on to this group reading. I have no idea which ones want to come out to play today, so oh goodness, come on. Pick a card, any card. Okay, thank you. They can be so picky. All right. So, yes, it's been a very interesting, 8 days of my holiday. I've still got 2 more to go. Full 10. Thank you so much, Melinda. I am super grateful for you. So let's have a look at this group reading. We do, of course, have yes, a new moon on Sunday. Happy days for a new moon. As well as all the other planetary stuff going on and all the shifts and changes and all the upgrades and all the things. We do love to have a new moon in amongst all of it. No wonder I've had a bit more energy today. Remember, new moons always give me a bit of a boost in energy, generally a boost in energy, whereas the full moons tend to wipe me out. So I'm very grateful for having the new moon energy today, because I actually went down to IKEA. Now, I don't generally frequent IKEA. It's not a shop I love to go to. But I went down there today and I ended up picking up a single-seater like roll-out bed chair thing. And I ended up bringing it home. To put it in the car was super funny. It wouldn't fit in the box. And I luckily had the help of one of the very friendly staff members over there. And so I was like, what if we unbox it? Maybe then it will fit in my little hatchback. My hatchback is amazing. It fits so much stuff. And so we unpacked it. And what do you know? It fitted perfectly, absolutely perfectly fitted. And he was just like, wow, okay. And I was just like, awesome, thank you so much. And then, can I leave you with the box to dispose of? He says, yeah, no problems. I'm like, thank you. So that was a successful trip down the hill. And then I've come home and put it all together, and it's looking rather lovely. And it's down over here. This is why I'm sort of like, it's not staying in here. It will be going into another room, but just wanted to bring it in here and just trial it out and see how it goes while the other spaces are being reorganized. So yeah, happy days. All right, so let's have a look at these energies for the next week from the 14th of October through to the 20th of October. How can we best work with these energies for this next week? Oh boy, this computer's way too close to me. There we go. That's better. Got nowhere to put the cards down. They'll be flying all over the floor. How's your couple of weeks been, Melinda? All right. Hi, Edwina. How are you, gorgeous? Did your pyramid come through okay? Yeah. Oh, goodness. Yep. Oh, Melinda. Dare I say I'm not actually surprised, but given everything that's been happening all over the place, yeah. I'm sad that you're looking for new employment, but at the same time, who knows what new opportunities can pop up now that you hadn't considered before. All right, so this weekly reading from the 14th of October through to the 20th of October. Oh, beautiful. I'm so happy for you, Edwina. It's beautiful, isn't it? I'm so jealous. So over this next week, let's have a look and see. We've got explore feminine aspects, which is flow with life. So immediately this little card here brings to mind all the spaces and places where we don't flow with life. And this card is coming up to remind us to flow with life. So when we think about the masculine energies, it tends to be more of that push, push, push energy. Whereas the feminine energy is a little bit more of that gentle up and down. It's not to say that there aren't the ups and the downs. It's just a little bit more gentle and flowing with that. And quite often when we're feeling pressure, when we're tired, when we're under strain and stress, and other people have got all of their things happening, their projections and expectations on you, we tend to slip into our masculine sides. And in our masculine sides, we tend to go into the push, push, push. We tend to go into resistance and reaction, and we tend to go into a lot of judgment and self-doubt. So what this card is showing me at the moment is like, we have to do the opposite to that. So instead of being in resistance and reaction, what if we ask some questions? What if we ponder the answers? What if we take a breath? What if we just, all right, what else can we do now? What if we just pause and go for a walk or go for a drive? Or like today, I went and had a bath. I haven't had a soak. I'm not going to say I haven't had a bath because it sounds disgusting, but I haven't had a soak in a really long time. And I could certainly feel myself being in that boom, 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 let's go, 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 and yet still not having the solutions to the problems that were going on, you know, at home at the moment. Not to say that there's big problems. It's just, you know, there's always stuff going on. There's something to work out. And as soon as I stopped and then I paused and I breathed and I allowed quietness into my world. So there was no music. There wasn't even any music playing in the whole house. There was just quietness. There was no podcasts. There was no YouTube. There was nothing. that's when the inspiration came through for the rolly out chair. And it's going to solve a lot of problems, which is awesome. So perhaps, and this is something that actually came up from working with my granddad actually, is when we work on the farm, he was really struggling to come up with a solution to something, we'd stop, we'd go have a cup of tea, and we'd come back. And generally by the time the cup of tea was done and we'd walked back to wherever we were on the farm, the solution would have appeared. So what if exploring your feminine aspects is reminding yourself to go back into gratitude, back into breath, connection to Mother Earth, your feminine aspects of gentleness and softness and deliciousness. The spikiness is not feminine. Being powerful and potent can be very feminine. But this week, you're going to have to be really, really mindful of that. The next one we have is for this week coming is to act with courage. Please be brave and let your legs guide you. Interesting. So perhaps you feel like, you're in a situation that doesn't sit well with you. What if all you need to do is walk away for a while? It's an interesting thought, isn't it? Hi, Nicole. Hi, Karen. So in that going with the flow, what if going with the flow is, like I said, letting yourself walk? Getting off of your desk, off the couch, off wherever you are, and go for a walk, connect with nature. But also with this, I'm hearing the courage to walk through your emotions. Walk through the space of speaking your truth and having the courage to speak your truth as well. Because that in and of itself is a very courageous thing to do. Especially if you're someone like me who is a ever recovering people pleaser, being able to speak your truth can be hard when it comes to someone that you adore, or a close work friend, or even your close friends can sometimes be hard to speak up and tell your truth. I'm getting the thing this week is like there might be moments where you withheld your voice. You might feel like that's the best way, but it's actually not. Might be a little bit bumpy, but you'll be okay. The next card that we've got is Create Family Balance, the ties that bind also free. So this is a really interesting card to come out this week. So it could mean that your blood family is going to be a bit challenging this week. It could also mean that people that you see as family are going to be a bit challenging this week. Perhaps they're going to challenge you on your belief systems, hence the reason why you've got to act with courage. There could also be some moments there where they are just all up in your grill and not understanding why you're doing things the way that you do them. Or it could be, that well-intentioned comment that seems to come from a place of love, but just seems to have a bit of a backslap to it. This one here is, if you were to pause for just a moment, sort of rewind that moment in your head rather than being in resistance and reaction, which is card number 1. And I know this is so hard to say, but what if you were to then go, I now approach this from the space of unconditional love. How would you then approach it? how would you then approach that situation? Would you still be in resistance and reaction and blowing up and calling each other names and all that sort of stuff? Or would you take a breath and be able to talk calmly about things, talk calmly about those differences of opinion, be able to say, hey, it's okay that you've got your point of view. That's all right. And you know what? It's okay that I've got mine too. Let's just agree to disagree. Let's not worry about that conversation anymore. If it's a topic that can be left alone, then leave it alone. Don't stir the pot. Don't poke the beehive. Sometimes we just want to be right so bad. This card, I think, is saying to us, what's more important to you? Is it more important to be right, or is it more important to have peace, love, and harmony in your life? It's up to you. Because the next two cards are all coming in off of that third card. So the next card comes in, and it's got transform hereditary pain. The past does not bind you. Okay? So again, this is about looking at all the things that you are allowing others to, and members of your family particularly, to dictate to you through their energy, through the past, through even maybe past lifetimes. And boy, do I have a story for you about that one. That is allowing you to feel trapped and tied up and like you can't move forward. And this week, it's going to highlight some of those areas. So be prepared. It's going to be a bumpy week, I reckon. This week might be just a wee bit crunchy. So again, I'm going to come back to that previous card and say, take a breath. And before you have any interactions with family members, just come back to that space of expanding out and being that space of unconditional love. How can you best support the person? How can you best support yourself from that space of unconditional love? Doesn't mean you have to be a doormat. The unconditional love for yourself can also mean that is enough of that conversation. I'm walking away now. That is also this place of unconditional love. You know, we look to nature, and the thing that's just popped into my mind is we look to nature for guidance, right? And examples of this beautiful balance of unconditional love. And if you ever go into a forest and you have a look around the base of a pine tree, you'll notice that pretty much nothing else grows at the base or in the canopy of a pine tree, except for other little pine trees, but even then they don't last very long. They get pushed out to the outer edges. So there's this balance, and basically this is the pine tree saying, nope, this is my space. This is my nurturing space. This is where I get to dig down deep and grow and nourish and nurture and thrive. And I'm still happy to play with you up here, but you're not allowed down here. So this is also part of why, you know, pine tree forests are so detrimental to the native forests. Hi, Julie. Because they don't let anything else grow. But they are still a really great example of what it takes sometimes to just create those boundaries for ourselves. So I know there's other trees that do that, but that's the one that popped into my mind. So the transforming of the hereditary pain is taking that moment to step back and go, using tools like your light and heavy tools of going, truth, is this actually pain or trauma that originated in this lifetime? Or is it another lifetime, maybe another dimension? And if it is from another lifetime or dimension, You might have to seek some, external help to get you moved through that, unless you know tools yourself. But as I know and know full well, it takes a lot of determination and focus to really deal with our own past stuff ourselves. We can do it. And I have done heaps of it using the theta healing tools. However, if you have a facilitator with you to help guide you through these things, it makes life so much easier. Okay. And it makes the process a lot quicker because they're not dealing with all of the emotional, like, they can then help sort of guide you forward a lot quicker through the process than what you might do just on your own. So ask the question, is this perhaps a karmic thing that's coming back up to be healed now? Because there's a lot of that going on right now too. The second to last card that we've got before we get on to our yummy card for our group week reading is transform old situations into new possibilities. Let go of the past and become the present. And this has been a massive feature for me over the last 10 days. It's about really, really letting go of the past and becoming really focused, sharply focused on what is important right now and what is important right now to move me into the future. So obviously we're still going to have a bit of this going on. So again, it comes back to that family stuff. It's like, really, is it important to hold on to those old grudges? Is it actually that important to you to hold yourself back and I do say yourself back in such a dynamic way, and yet blame others for doing that? Is that actually most important to you? Or is it important to you to go, actually, what is happening in my life right now is actually really amazing. And I'm going to stop self-sabotaging. And I'm going to stop allowing that stuff to play monkey mind with me. That's okay. That was the past. It's all right. And now we can move forward. There's boundaries. So this week is going to be a bit challenging by the looks of it. Forgiveness can be a part of that. Definitely, Julie, it can be. And sometimes, because a lot of people can get into, and I've seen it many times throughout my clients, they go, I don't want to forgive them for blah, 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 blah. Or why should I have to do work on them? It's like, well, no, you're not doing work on them. You're doing the work for yourself, to free yourself. So it's like, forgiveness to me is freedom of self. It's nothing really to do with the other person, because the only person that's hurting you by not forgiving them is you. They don't get it. They don't feel it. There's nothing really there. All they get is maybe if you have still contact with them, like the crabby, grunchy version of you. That doesn't help either, So, and when we release those, the judgment and the resentment and the anger and all of that, the freedom and the amount of energy you have to flow towards the things that actually matter to you, like love and fun and happiness and sensualness and joyfulness and just getting out there and dancing and laughing and having a good time with your friends and doing the things like with your young family, like if you've got grandkids and stuff like that. It's like you've got so much more energy for that because you're not being weighed down by all this heavy stuff. So transform those old situations into new possibilities, let go of the past and become the present. It's a pretty loud message this week coming, I have to say. It's a beautiful, beautiful And just, I keep getting reminded to come back to that very first card. Explore your feminine aspects. Keep going with the flow, my friends. Breathe. Have a moment before you say things from that space of frustration or stress or anger, and like with your co-workers or whatever, family or partners or anything like that, going, okay, if this is coming from the place of unconditional love, how would I communicate that? It changes things quite significantly. So even though we're going to have a lot of crunch this week, the one thing that the yummy cards would like to remind us of is tenderness. So at the end of each day, what I'd like you to come back to is tenderness of you. Start your day with tenderness. Start your day with saying how much you love your body. Do that mirror work. Stand in front of the mirror and say to yourself in your eyes, I love you 5 times in the morning. It's very powerful work. Hi, Amanda. Very, very powerful work. So that is the weekly reading. Be warned, my beautiful ones. It's going to be a bit of a bumpy ride. But I would suggest that perhaps with this lovely new moon that's going to be happening, maybe that's a really good time to have a look at some of those old pains and pathways, those old hereditary traumas, and maybe have a look at seeing if you can release a bit of that to the moon and to the universe, to release it from yourself. I did hear my phone go off. Oh, hi, Debbie. Thank you, love. All right. Cool bananas. Okay. Miss Melinda, would you please pop in the chat what you would like me to have a look at today? I have a sneaky suspicion. I'm already aware. Oh, dear. So I know you're probably all dying to know what happened with my QHHT session. And while we're waiting for Melinda to pop her question in the chat, I will tell you one little part. So for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, pretty much since I started my job, so that's back in November last year, I very quickly developed 2 things. One of them was my knuckle here got very swelled up and it started looking very strange. And a QHHT session. So it's a quantum healing hypnosis technique. It is from the work of Dolores Cannon. It is her technique, and that she used throughout her life's work to assist people to visit, do regression work, which then helped them to, with the aid of their subconscious. So they would, like for my session, for example, and I think this is the way they generally go, is that we regressed to a previous lifetime. So we have an interview first. All right. We have a little chat first before any regression work is done, before any of that's done. We have a little chat and we talk about the things that I would like to ask questions about. And one of them was my finger and the other one was my thumb. My thumb kept doing this weird clicky thing, like it just needed to click every now and then. And that's been something that's been probably about at least 6 months. And this has been probably at least 10 months on my finger. So yes, the QHHT session is freaking amazing. And we ended up going to, so you go through the regression and you explore that life, and then you go to the end of that life And then you go to the next stages of like, what did you learn from that? If we have a lesson to learn or a message from every lifetime, what is that? And then what happens is the facilitator then calls through your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind is the one that chose the lifetime for you to see. And from this space, it is coming basically from direct source. It is you, it is your subconscious, but it's also direct source information. And so there's none of your ego in there, nothing at all. It's just straight up pure information. And it turned out that according to my subconscious, my funky dunky finger was related to finances. And it was related to finances, like really old family points of views and belief systems. And what happened is that these family belief systems, which felt like a tight wound up rubber band, were not only in my finger, it was all the way up my arm into my shoulder. And so as we began to do some healing on that, it became abundantly clear that there was a certain family member that literally had their fingers like energetically digging in. I can't do it from this angle, but like imagine this way, but from the other side, digging in literally into my arm in multiple places. So it was more like there was multiple versions of that person and they were all the way along my arm. And as we were doing the healing, it was like one finger would come out and then it was like they were screaming like a banshee. So it's a really weird feeling because it's like there's two parts of you. There's the subconscious mind that's talking, that is just like no emotion, there's no pain, there's nothing like that. Then there's the body part of you, which is like going, oh, that's a bit tingly, and the subconscious can say what's happening to the body, but doesn't get caught up in the emotional effects of that or the physical effects of it. It's just kind of like reports back of, oh yes, that's tingly, or oh yes, they're just screaming like a banshee as this thing's being released, And the beauty of it is that I have walked away from that session and I've listened to it 3 times since, and I'll probably listen to it again at least once. Every time I've listened to it, it's gotten, that healing part has gotten less and less noticeable in my arm, which has been really nice. And so it shows me that this session is working. It's still live, as they say, even on the recording. And with that has also happened, so those family dynamics that we were talking about in that weekly reading, that has been undone. So by the time that healing was done, and my subconscious was then asked, how can Lorene continue forward in that relationship? And it's like, it doesn't matter anymore. There's no need. The job is done. And so it was asked a couple of different ways, and it was just like, they're okay. It's fine. So the thumb, on the other hand, was information. So that I will come back to because that's a whole other story. But I want to get Melinda and then Debbie's done, because Debbie is over in New Zealand, and so it's much, much later over there. So I will tell the thumb, but no, the thumb is something quite different. So that's quite fun. All right. Okay, let me see. What does your team wish for you to know? Fascinating, though. Absolutely fascinating. And I'm so grateful. I'm so, so grateful. I had a question around, it's sort of related on the same thing, to family stuff. I had a question around when I was 6.5, and I had a near drowning incident. And cool. And I had a feeling there was a change in beings at that time, like what some would call a walk-in. And so we asked my subconscious about that too, and it said, yeah, absolutely. And what had happened is the first being that came in had to come in to spark the life. They had to be there and strong, really, really strong, because the amount of anger, pain, resentment, just the amount of stuff, negative stuff that was hiffed at that fetus was so intense that it had to be a very strong being to hold into place. Otherwise, I would have miscarried, or been miscarried, as the case may be. But at 6.5, that was the point where I was able to switch over from the being that was there to make sure that I lived, and switched into the being that is me now, that has the information for my life purpose of why I'm here. And it's just like, wow, because that made so much more sense as to why it's almost like the memories I have before that, and there is only a few, it's almost like cellular memories rather than lived experiences. And it was a bit strange to me why I couldn't remember those things very well. It's like most people would remember their first day of school. I don't remember my first day of school, but I do remember other random things from when I was like 6, or just, around that sort of 5.5, 6. But it's almost like I said, they're more cellular memories of like more significant moments that have been sort of embedded into the cells of like, you must remember this. This is something that you must remember. You must remember standing at that beach batch with your parents' group from the round table, standing in the doorway, just looking out at the beauty of nature. That's what you must remember. You must remember rolling the cotton reels down the road with your brother, that I'm sure your mother really loved the fact that you were using her sewing cotton reels to go down. But there's a lot I don't remember. There's a lot. And it's a really interesting thing. And now that I have that piece of information, it makes things so much easier to go, okay, cool, I'm good. All right. So Melinda, sorry about that. Well, this is not at all surprising. All righty. Just checking for reverse cards. Nope. Everything is looking fine and dandy. Oh. All right. So what we have here for our beautiful Melinda is there is a balancing of the scales that is happening in your life at the moment. And there is a moment here where you couldn't really stay where you were, that it's not the path, and I don't get a sense that you are necessarily valued to your highest, that you are able to. So maybe you feel a little bit hard done by, but at the same time, the scales are rebalancing for you. Okay. And sometimes when we do that, we have to move away from what was, what we have been playing with. The next card that we've got here, which is interesting because it's actually facing towards the future. Okay, so this is like, remember, this is all stuff to do with you moving forward. And I say that because the card after this one is perfect. So the next one is the Queen of Wands. Now, we of course know that the Queen of Wands is all about spiritual growth, and it is very much about being solid within your own belief systems. It's about being focused on the future. It's about looking at your growth. It's about seeing the sunny side of life and being very mature about it. It's like, okay, and now where are we going from here? Okay, let's look forward. You're going to love the next card. The next card is the Death card. So, well, this is, of course, still facing the future, which is really awesome. So, the fact of what you've had happen and that you're now looking for new employment and all of that sort of stuff, this makes a lot of sense now, huh? So interesting that the tarot is what spoke to me to play for you today. So along with this, and we see the Death card and we go, oh my God. Along with this, there's a lot of positivity. There's the bright sunshine in the background here. So the bright sunshine in the background is really showing you that there is some positivity. There's the death of the old and the welcoming of the new. And to sometimes not get caught up in the pleading for the old. All right. This is a really good reminder. Yeah, exactly. It means to change. Exactly. And so I see this as actually quite a positive card. It can be a bit of a challenge to you personally to go, well, what are you choosing? Seriously, what are you choosing? Are you going to choose to, sit there and be like the king lying down and just taking it? Or are you actually going to be standing up and seeing the roses and seeing what is possible and looking for the silver linings? Like, what is it that you're actually choosing here? And this card offers a lot of questions, but at the same time, it's really quite a positive card as far as I'm concerned anyway. I don't look at the Death card as being a bad thing. The next card is the the Knight of Cups, which once again is facing forward. It's facing towards the future. And of course, we know that the cups is to do with emotions and with all that lovely water energy. And we see in this card that it is actually quite a smooth stream. However, we do have a little bit of rockiness here, even though it looks smooth going here. And it's a possibility that you might have to cross a bit of emotional stuff to be able to get to where you're going. But you're riding high, you're riding steadfast, you're doing really super well. You've built up a lot of skills and reaffirm to yourself that, yes, I can do this. Yes, I can be around different people. Yes, I can, work in and around different aspects of a business. This has made you far more valuable than you were a year ago. So I would say keep that in mind. Give yourself some acknowledgement of the things that you have done really super well. And as you update your resume and do all those sorts of things, keep that in mind for attributes that you can add that are going to make you stand out. Customer service in Australia, in general sense, is quite atrocious. And you are not that. You have excellent interaction skills with other human beings. And that makes you a massive, valuable asset to a company, as well as all of your other beautiful aspects and skills and technical abilities and all that sort of stuff. You've actually got quite an awesome package. And so I would be feeling not too worried about the emotional side of the upheaval. It's like, imagine if that stream just kind of is just out of view here. There's actually a bridge. What if this moment of the death the change is actually leading you towards this beautiful, even, smooth bridge that takes you through the canyon. And you don't even have to worry about those cliffs. So don't focus on the cliffs. Don't focus on the water. It's like, it's all right to feel what you feel, but don't get bogged down in it. Keep riding high. This next stage of your life, which is the 5, 6, 7, 8 of Wands, again, that's spiritual growth. And this beautiful card comes out with so many different meanings for so many different people. What I'm seeing here and what I'm hearing is just, it's a big growth time for you. And while it can sometimes feel a bit like you're, having to push up the rungs of the ladder, it's like, what if it's actually a slide? If we turn it that way, what if it's a slide instead of rungs of a ladder? What if it's like, these are just the things that are actually helping you to get to where you're going? And coming back to that place of, or coming forward, I should say, to that place of happiness, joyfulness, deliciousness, like just being on your purpose. And I guess that's the other part of this, is like, where do you truly wish to be? Where do you truly wish to see yourself? Is it in customer service? Is it in a job that you are helping others? Is it like, what really lights you up? Because that's where the spiritual stuff is coming in. So what speaks to your heart? Because that's the thing that's going to be just like, yay. And you'll probably, I reckon, you'll be able to nail that job, no problems at all. The other card that just made me go, oh, is, and I'm going to do the little song, everything's all right. Yes, everything's fine, because we have spring. In the beautiful Sacred Cycles deck, we have spring. And so there's a lot of peace, there's a lot of growth, there's a lot of gentleness. It's into your feminine. It's, so what I'm seeing here also is becoming, and that's interesting, it actually looks like a new moon. So what I'm hearing in this very moment is, please do some meditation on Sunday. And ask for some guidance from the new moon and your team as to where you could go next. Where could you look? And do some work on pulling those things that you really desire and wish to have towards you, rather than pushing them away. So ask also those questions of, where am I self-sabotaging? And start writing that stuff down and work on letting that go too, because that's the thing that's stopping you from getting your most perfect job for you. It's that self-sabotage and self-doubt. All right, so let us have a look at your yummy card. It's a really beautiful one. The doves and all. So there's a lot of peacefulness there for you. How does that one fit in? All right, so you got the card of understanding. So perhaps I'm just asking your team why they chose this card. And I got, she has to understand her own magic and her own contribution to those around her. And really take some time to allow that to speak to your heart. Because with that, when you integrate how much you mean to others around you, when you really start to receive and feel their love, something's going to just go inside of you. This beautiful flower of comprehension and magic is just going to go throughout your body. There's still a little bit of a wall up there for you to work through. And that wall's been there for very good reasons in the past. I think you'll find in the very near future that's going to get challenged a lot. And yeah, you're going to have a fun time, but you're going to grow lots spiritually, and your upgrades are going to be awesome. Alrighty, my dear. So that is it for that. Your reading for today. I hope that helps. It was sure an interesting one. Thank you so much, Melinda, for your contribution and your beautiful donation. I am so, so grateful for you. So lovely, Miss Debbie. Oh, hell. Oh, she was ready. I love it. Oh dear, I love it. I love it, love it. Okay, so I'm facing change and constant unknowns, and sometimes I feel like I'm taking it all in my stride, and other times it feels too much. Reassurance and guidance, please. Alrighty, let's see who wishes to come and play with Debbie today. So yes, highly, highly, highly recommend the QHHT. I will be getting more sessions moving into the future, and I will probably next year learn how to do it myself. So, hi Tony, I'm just doing paid ones at the moment. So, so yeah, I've got Debbie and then I've got Edwina to come. So if you hang around, I'll probably do my famous poem readings. So, or if you wish to put in a small donation, then you can do that too, and I'll give you an extended reading as well. For the moment, I'm working with Debbie. So yes, I will be learning how to do this in the future, which is going to be so cool. There was a lot to go through on that one. Debbie, I'm getting a sense of like just tightness in the chest area, sort of around like the bra line, sort of under the boob bra line, just sort of like it's almost like the breath is being stopped there. It's not making its way down properly, which is creating a lot of stress in the back, like just tension. And what are they showing me? It's almost like you just, maybe that's when you're not feeling like you're taking it in your stride. Be aware of your breath and do a quick check on yourself and see, where is my breath stopping? Is it actually going all the way down, or is it like just stopping right at my boobs? because it's like that's what it sort of feels like. It's quite an interesting sensation of just being a bit like tensiony through the back, where it's like the ribs just haven't expanded out properly in a while, kind of like wearing a corset, and it's like you haven't loosened the strings. So I would highly recommend you use some of those beautiful like tools of cord cutting, or the destroy and uncreate tool, or whatever it is with your current place of work, and allow yourself the freedom in the evening to just be you, and to allow your energetic space to be nourishing and nurturing to just you, your body, and your own surroundings, rather than just being constantly out. And it doesn't mean that you can't expand, because I'm getting the sense that you probably do require to do that too. There's just this interesting space of like just tension. And knuckling it on through, that sort of thing. All right, let's see what else comes out. Is there any more in this? Nope, but there is something. Who wishes it? Okay, cool, thank you. That one, nope. Well, when I get to do my level 1s, I actually have to do 25 sessions with different people, Melinda. So, Tony, I'm currently calling Adelaide, South Australia home. So, yeah. But where am I from? I'm a person of the world. No, I'm originally a Kiwi, and I still am a Kiwi. I haven't created dual citizenship for my world yet. Oh, Debbie. Oh, this is so cool. All right. Before I get back to that one. So this first card actually came popping out. And so I was like, oh, are you meant to be as part of this reading? I was like, yes, please. So the first one is workshops and seminars for you, Debbie. And is there something that you have been curious about that maybe is something that is to add to your bow, add to your toolbox of tools? Is there something that has been sort of niggling away over here that you've sort of been pushing off because of other things and other stuff that's happened up in your life? Is there something there with that? Or it's either something you're to learn. I'm getting more, it's a thing for you to learn rather than speak about. And so with that, it's like there's a space of a little bit of extra growth that's going to be coming along, if not now, very, very soon, very soon. So whatever that is for you, I don't know. But there's something that's going to pop up as a workshop or a seminar or something that's going to be just like, bam, right, I've got to choose that. So be aware that that's coming. As far as you and your reassurance for when things feel a bit much. First of all, we've got the sacral chakra, and I'm laughing because you'll see. I know you take your health and wellness really, really seriously. And I know that within that, there are a lot of choices that you make on every day to do with the most best healthy choices in your world. this card is saying that you are highly sensitive to chemicals, additives, processed foods, and energies. And I actually get the sense that this is more to do with the energies rather than the other stuff, because you've already got you've got a pretty good handle on all your food stuff. Respect your sensitivities and avoid harsh items, situations, and relationships. So again, oh God. The relationships one just made my back go quink. All right, so cool. So there's obviously some people in your world that are creating a little bit of harshness and a bit of a crinkle in your world, as somebody I used to know would say. And with that, there might be some moments where it's actually affecting your sacral chakra, which is creating a bit of a wonky ripple effect through your others, because the next card that is coming up is your third eye chakra. Your third eye chakra, it's safe for you to see the energy of love in all its forms, such as angels, auras, and visions. So along with that, what I'm hearing and feeling throughout my body is that this crinkle in your world, which is happening, is affecting your vision, and it's affecting your ability to perceive with total clarity the situations before you from an energetic sense, which you're really, really good at. And with that, this is about you remembering, not learning, but remembering that you are way more potent and way more powerful within you than you're giving yourself credit for. Because here's the thing, if you were being the dominant entity of your life, nobody could put a crinkle in your world like that. So I'm going to come back to the space of unconditional love, because that's the first thing it says. It is safe for you to see the energy of love in all its forms. So your body is showing you the love of communication with you. It's showing you where things are a bit off energetically. So that feeling of too much is quite likely to be the feeling of your body saying, or the communication rather from your body to say, hey, this particular energy or this particular person or this particular situation just doesn't really work for us. And how can we approach it from a different way? It doesn't mean necessarily just walk away, doesn't mean necessarily quit the job, doesn't necessarily mean, leave whatever that is that's creating this crinkle. It's just, how can we approach this from a more honoring, loving space without the resistance and the reaction? Because it's that resistance reaction, and which is judgment, that is coming into the body and stopping the flow of energy. The next one is Archangel Michael. You are working very closely with this powerful archangel who is protecting and guiding you through the situation. So this beautiful angel is a potent one. You are very familiar with Archangel Michael. It's perhaps a bit of a little nudge from Archangel Michael to say, hey, actively call on me in the morning, please. Actively call on me before you actually have to work with any of those people or persons or situations that are causing you this stress, because I will help smooth things out. I will help protect you. I will help you in whatever ways that we require. So please start working with Archangel Michael and with a little bit more conscious intent. The next card is clear yourself. Okay. Ask the angels to release any toxic energies that you may have absorbed. So again, I come back to that beautiful tool of destroy and uncreate the relationships. You can also do, if you prefer, cord cutting or just an energetic removal from the spaces or places where you are not residing. And also, so that's including, if you go visit friends' houses or spend time with friends or workplaces or the previous place that you used to live and all those sorts of things. Like, it's really important to clear yourself of those energies as well. And breathe. And I'm also like seeing the chakras in front of me so clearly right now. And there is some interesting blockages happening, like just little ones, but that are just creating some slight crinkles. Hence the reason why we've got the sacral chakra, the third eye chakra, sorry. They're both, kind of at opposite ends of the scale, really. But if you've got a funky dunky block in, the sacral chakra, then that's going to continue on all the way up. Because it's like the path, the energy flow has been reduced. So it's like it's time to open that back out and just go, allow them all to breathe with beautiful openness. Now, this is why I got really excited, is because this particular goddess came and worked with me to deal with, and I'm not saying that this is necessarily for you, but I'm getting a sense that perhaps it is. So this particular goddess helped me to release feelings of rejection and resentment from my sacral chakra. This is the beautiful goddess Hestia. She is the goddess of sanctuary. She's the goddess of hearth and home. She is one of the original goddesses. And she has a really interesting story, even though it's really short, because she's really no nonsense. She doesn't deal with trauma drama. Like, she's not interested in drama. She would not like the other goddesses and gods. She is just she's very potent. She's very powerful, but she's very homely. And she says, no matter where I am home. The most sacred sanctuary is found within me. So I'm also wondering if there is a space where you're feeling like you're really searching for something. Take it back here. Take it back to your heart. And also ask Hestia, because she's very, very powerful, to help guide you to know what to release and to know what is the best way forward for you in your work life and with releasing any particular aspects like rejection and resentment and things like that. Because sometimes those elements can just subtly sit and contaminate the good things that are around us, hence the reason why they go into self-sabotage and things like that. So Hestia, get on to her, because she is freaking amazing and so beautiful. Oh my God, she's beautiful. I ended up working with Hestia in the float tanks. Yeah, that was fun. And your yummy card, Debbie, is light spirit. So thank you for being the light spirit that you are. This is a reminder that you are a light spirit. And as a light spirit, you have a really, really important job here. And it is to show your light, to shine your light, to inspire others, and to keep the collective moving forward, because it's not just a one-person job. It takes all of us who are this light spirit to keep this train moving forward, because my goodness, she's a heavy one to carry alone. But with many of us, it makes it a whole lot easier. So if this little bit of a message speaks to anybody else, please know it's for you too. Remember that every single time that you work from that space of unconditional love, that is literally changing the world and contributing to the world and healing the world and the people on it. It's a big responsibility that we all have. But the beautiful thing is that we have this incredible connection to the source, that we all have it, but we're just way more aware of it. So keep working with that. Be that light spirit that you truly be. Work with Hestia. Ask Archangel Michael for some help. And also, yeah, there's something to do with a workshop or seminar that's coming up soon for you that will really help move you forward. All right. I hope that helps, Debbie. Thank you so much for your contribution. I'm so grateful for you. Bye-bye, Debbie's team. All right. And if I recall correctly, we had Edwina was next, please. Yes, Edwina, and then Tony. So Edwina, if you could pop your question down, please, my sweet. That would be amazing. Have me a little drink of water. Oh, goodness. That feels good. How did we get so lucky to be living in this life? Oh, dear, oh, dear. I wish I could remember which one I did last. Properties. Okay. Oh. All right. Cool. I thought I had finished updating something for you, but I obviously have not yet. Hestia. She is amazing. If you have time, read up about her. She's incredible. All right. So Edwina wants a general reading. Okay, which cards are going to come out to play? Okay, cool as. Good morning, Angelita. Hi, darling. How are you? That's so fun to see friends coming on to say hi. It's so cool. So let me see. While I'm bringing Edwina's team in and seeing what they would like for her to know for this next little bit. So my thumb is in, the reason why it was clicking is that it's information that was, I said it was stuck information. And by acknowledging it and thinking it through, I was like, I can think it out. Okay. But what happened in the session is that the information is now moved out of my thumb and it is moving up and into my brain. And this information is, so it's migrating at the moment, and it has literally, I would click my thumb probably about maybe half a dozen times a day. And since I've had the session, it's done, I think it did it once. And that's only, I think. So it's like, it's certainly moved. So the swelling on my finger has gone down exponentially. It's almost back to normal, but not quite. Like there's still a tiny bit of swelling there, but nothing like it was. My thumb has stopped cracking. And it's really, really cool to know that you can have almost immediate results like that through something such as accessing your subconscious mind. It's like, wow, this is just so cool. But we spoke about all sorts of things. I had questions about my eyesight. I had questions about my weight. I had questions about the moving up to the hills and what that meant for me. I had questions about relationship. What else did I have questions about? Oh, yeah, just different relationships in my life. And to get a bit more awareness around what certain ones meant and why they were the way they were. So yeah, it's really, really fascinating work, that's for sure. But the lifetime that I went back to was quite incredible, because it was a space where I was working magic. And there was one funny moment there where, because it was pre-guns, so if that gives you any idea of sort of roughly the time, and it was like we were me and three others were, so there was the teacher and me and two others were together as students, and we were living in this building that had like the big stone walls and heavy wooden doors and things like that. But it was almost like it was Earth, but slightly removed. It was maybe slightly different dimension of Earth, but we could still see what was happening on Earth. And we were very human, but we were just magical as well. And it was really funny because after the teacher had become very old and chosen to go, our job was then around keeping an eye on the world and observing industry and the people. And it was so funny because one of the things we used to do is we used to look into this big disc, and it was kind of like a looking glass, but not a looking glass, but it was a big disc. And what we could do is kind of like see it like reality TV, right? And we could see that there was all these people that were fighting against each other and warring and killing each other. And it was asked, you know, how were these people killing each other? What tools were they using? And it was like swords and spears. And one of the things that we would do is, because our main focus, and is as mine is now, is about creating peace and happiness. And of course, if you've got big groups of people, you know, fighting each other and killing each other, well, that's not creating peace or happiness. So we would magically go and blunten their swords and their spears, so on both sides, so that they would have to literally sit down for way longer and sharpen their tools, their weapons. So, and the longer that they sat sharpening their weapons, the less they killed each other. So it was a really subtle way of interfering, but not interfering, if you know what I mean. And to continue to work towards the greater goal of, just let's not fight anymore, let's not argue anymore, let's not kill each other anymore. And another thing that we would do is every now and then we'd sort of mess a little bit with their water or stuff like that to give them a little bit of dysentery. Because you know what? If they're shitting themselves and they can't get out of bed, then they can't kill and fight each other either. It's like, oh my God. So that was a really funny moment that popped out of that particular lifetime. But there was some other way bigger, more like very important things that we did too. But yeah, it was certainly a funny moment even to listen back to. It's like, yeah, absolutely hilarious. So Edwina, back to your beautiful reading. Let me have a look. Is there anybody else that wishes to come through to contribute? Yes, there is. Okay. Oh, there. So yeah, I get that the same energy of helping people to not kill, not hurt and harm each other is still very much my focus, even in this lifetime. But I don't do well with people arguing and fighting and that sort of thing. It's not my wheelhouse. Do I get angry sometimes? Yes. Do I get frustrated sometimes? Yes. But generally not without reason. There's a potency to anger. It gets things done. But it's not an energy that I prefer to play in, for sure. Yeah, it was hilarious. We both got a bit of a giggle out of that one. Okay, who have you got? Ooh, interesting. Okay. No. Okay. So, Edwina, your general reading, you've got gentleness. So you've got be very gentle with yourself at this time. Surround yourself with gentle people, situations, and environments. So given what we know from the general reading of this week coming is going to possibly be quite crunchy. Please come back to gentleness for you. Come back to that space of just being in lots of love and adoring with your family and your kiddos and, with nature and all of that sort of stuff. And allow yourself the space of gentleness with you. Okay. There's more to come on this, but we'll come back to that. The next card that we've got for you is Counselor. So you are a natural counselor and many people benefit from your guidance and reassurance. So don't be surprised if people come to you and I think you actually already know this, that they do come to you. They see you as a bit of a wise woman. And I know you perhaps doubt yourself a little bit with that. And this is the time when it's time for you to start acknowledging that, yes, you are a wise woman, that you do know stuff, and that there is validity to what you tell people and what you help them with and help them to uncover for themselves. There is a massive amount of ripple effect that you are being with those around you when they come to you for help. And the magic that you be is exactly what is required. Because much like Debbie, You are one of the light ones. And I can almost guarantee everybody here is a light one. We all attract each other because that's what we do, right? So this is a little bit of a fluffing your wings a little bit to say, please continue doing what you're doing, because what you're doing is having a far greater and far more reaching effect than you could probably imagine. Don't discount the magic and the contribution that you are being to others right now. The next one we've got is gifts from God or Creator. We angels bring you gifts from your Creator. Open your arms and be ready to receive. So I'm getting a sense that there is some extra skills or talents or abilities that are going to start opening up in your world. And I'm just seeing if they can tell me anymore. No, they won't tell me. That's okay. It could be anything from being able to communicate with more ease with spirit entities. It could be seeing auras. It could be working with energy in a different way. It could be being able to perceive people energetically or telepathically. It could be intuitive writing, which is funny because the next card is something to do with that. So perhaps the next couple of cards might give some insight as to these gifts that are coming your way. If they haven't arrived already, they will be there very soon. And when that happens, your body might go through a little bit of an adjustment period. So you may feel like you might come down with a bit of a cold while your body removes the toxins and things from that particular area that it requires to. Or you might suddenly get a bit of a headache where you might not normally have had a headache before. Just really hydrate, tap into nature, keep expanding out, and ask the question, is this a gift that's showing up in a way that I didn't expect? You know, if you've ever watched the show Charmed, which is that beautiful 90s show, and I love it. I have the box set of it. And it's a real beautiful example of, you know, every time one of the sisters got a new capacity, it was a bit rough for a little while till they actually mastered it, or at least got a handle on how that particular capacity worked. This is what it's true for us too. You know, the last little while I've been smelling things in a way that I haven't smelt them before. It's like my sensitivity has gone through the roof on smelling stuff. And like I've always had quite a sensitive nose, but now I'm smelling stuff that's not there. So it's like, then I have to ask questions on, okay, is this a spirit that's come through, like an entity that's come through to speak to me? Is it an awareness of a different lifetime or a different timeline? Is it, you know, and I have to ask more questions, you know, and it's really interesting. Is it just because I've moved to a new place and there's different smells up here? But it's like, these are smells that don't necessarily belong within the space that I'm in, and it's just random smells, and it's just like, okay, interesting. It's a capacity, right? So it's cool. So you see some more coming for you. Creative writing is the next card that we've got for you, and it says make time to write down your thoughts in a journal, pen, an article, or a book. What I'm hearing here is intuitive writing. So in your space that you have where you can be quiet for a little while and do meditation and stuff like that, do some intuitive writing. I don't know if you know how to do that. So intuitive writing is where you could even write at a key sentence at the top of the page saying, I am aware of. Or you can write a question like, I just got told, what is my purpose? And just allow the words, whatever they are, if it's just a line, if it's dots, if it's squiggles, if it's a little picture, it might even just be a stick figure. It just allow whatever comes through onto the page. The best way to do intuitive writing is on blank paper, and preferably something more like an A3 size. Not an A5. You can get away with an A4 book type thing, but at least an A4 blank pages is the best way to go. Nothing with lines on it. And the reason for that is that it allows the mind to just wander. It allows the body to just wander. And what you'll find is, even if you just set a timer for 15 minutes and you allow yourself that space, do that expanding out exercise, and then pop your little question on the top, and then away you go. You'll be quite surprised what comes out. And then you can analyze it after the 15 minutes is done. Don't worry about it beforehand. Analyze it afterwards and see what speaks to your heart, and look at it and go, oh, wow, and get curious. You might find that you start writing light language. You might find that you start coming through with incredible ideas for money, business, your kids, just incredible solutions to things in ways that you haven't thought of before. So creative writing to me is also intuitive writing and things like that. Could be poetry, could be all sorts of things. Whatever speaks to your heart, my love. Clairvoyance. So now you know why I said I think the next card might be the one. The next couple of cards might be part of what is coming through. So I am helping with your spiritual sight to awaken fully so you can see clearly heavenly love. So perhaps part of this gifts from God is you're going to start seeing the world in a bit of a different way. Now, when my team started giving me the gift of different sight, what it did is, and I can still do it now, but I'm more controlled with it. Being able to see the molecules move. And it popped up when I was doing all that renovation work earlier in the year. Very difficult to paint cornices when they kept moving. Just saying. But it was one of the things that was changing. It was my way of seeing the world and being able to see beyond the solidity of life. And so that's a part of something that we speak about, or I spoke about in the QHHT session, was about my eyesight. But that part didn't come up, but it was a slightly different focus as to what we were talking about. But it's interesting that it's come up today to remind me of that moment where I was seeing the molecules move at work, trying to clean mirrors and trying to, like a wall mirror, and I'm trying to clean it, but it keeps moving away from me. Very strange. I'm not denying that for a second, but it's one of my capacities now, is seeing between the molecules. And how does that help me when I'm working with people as bodies on the table? Well, that's awesome, because now I can actually perceive more so than I did even before of where there's blocks happening within a body. And it means that I can actually help people in an even greater way than I could before, where I was energetically feeling it through. Now I can see it through, which is really cool. So there's going to be some stuff around your eyesight popping up. So things might go blurry. Be aware of that. If stuff starts going a little bit blurry with your eyesight, ask, is this a capacity? that is showing up in a way that I was not expecting. And if it is, ask for your team to give you ease with that. And also with the ease of it, you have to have allowance for it for yourself. So give your eyes a lot of love, just, and send heaps of unconditional love through your eyes too. This next card is leadership, and it is time for you to assume your leadership power and position and lovingly guide others. So I get that you do this a lot already. And now it's getting to the point where you also have to stretch out into the community a little bit more and do some more stuff out in the community. There's aspects of skills that you have that are going to be very valuable and already are valuable out in the community. Keep working on that. Work through that space of being a leader in your chosen area. Okay. And you've got an interesting person to help you. You have the High Priest of Atlantis, who is going to be helping you with chakra healing. So that's pretty cool. So you'll actually notice, if we have a look there, there's a lot more chakra points than just 7. So perhaps that might be your next area of study, if you are not already aware that there are more than 7 chakra. This lovely high priest is willing to help and show you, and also to help to clear your chakra as well. Let me see if he's got anything specific that he would like to come forward and tell you. 78. That's a very good year. Yeah. So nourish your spiritual energy centers and harmonize within is the biggest part of that one. Okay. So it says additional meanings is Reiki healing is part of your divine life purpose. Now, if you don't know Reiki, that's okay. If you don't cognitively know Reiki, but you might. Maybe it's something that is coming to you to learn or remember. And the other one it says here is you're activating your Atlantean 12 chakra system. The high priest can guide you to the right support. So the invocation maybe for your next meditation is I easily balance my chakras. I am light and energy. All right. So that is your lovely message from the high priest. And yummy card for Edwina. We got respect for you. And of course, I've got RESPCT floating through my head. It's about respect for not only you and honoring of you. It's about respect for the process is what I'm being told, and that it's really important that you come back to the heart. It's really important that you come back to the kindness and the gentleness, and with that, the leadership that you truly be. You will show others and guide others to be that space of respect for you, with you, and with the community and the collective in general. Okay, so keep being wonderfully all of you, because it's really, really important. Okie dokie. Thank you, Edwina, for your beautiful donation. I'm so grateful for you. All righty. So to answer your question, Tony, creative writing can be just that. when that card comes up, it's the energy of the card. It's not necessarily specifically the words on the card. It's what the team is being able to pick from that particular deck that is closest matched to the energy and the message that they're trying to convey. So that message, even though it came from the creative writing card, was she has to start channeling, is basically what that card was saying, and channeling through writing. But the way to get to that point of being able to be a channel is she has to start intuitively writing first. It's like this is the beginning stages of channeling, and it can be quite potent even within itself. And it's about allowing the conscious mind, the ego, to step aside and to just allow the subconscious, the intuitive mind to just start, running the show for a little bit. When you're somebody who has a lot of responsibilities in your world, being able to take those few moments, those few minutes to actually stop and push that ego stuff, all the to-do lists, all the things out, and just let the body move and the energy flow through you. That's true creative energies and true creative moments. Okay. Right, Tony, you're up, my love. What message does my guides have for me? Right. So, Tony, do you have a specific question you'd like me to work with today, or are you just wishing to have a general reading? Happy to go with whichever way. You're welcome. Alrighty. New mom. Just need to double check something. Okay. Just gotta give it. Yay! Cool. All right. General for Tony. And then Julie, you're up next. Okay. We are on fire today. And this is why we have to take a break every now and then. We have to have a little rest so that we can do awesome readings for you guys rather than just doing half-assed readings. Oh dear. Let's see, Tony, what would your team like to play with today? Yes, I am on StreamYard, my dear. Whereabouts are you based, Tony? I can't remember. I don't remember lots of things. So please don't take offense to that. That was one thing that happened in my spiritual growth thing, is there's a lot of things. Oh, that's right. Thank you. And you and Karen are friends. Is that correct? Actually, it was before that. I was thinking about it the other day. Is in high school, I did history. Now, I could tell you all the stuff around whatever subject I was studying, how it made people feel, how it influenced society. I could tell you lots of information around that sort of stuff. Could I tell you specifically what year certain things happened? Nah. Dates? not my forte in this lifetime. Formulae for when I did calculus and accounting and things like that. Nah. I could work with it if it was written down, but don't ask me to remember that sort of stuff. Just not my capacity this year or this lifetime. But interactions, faces, I have a really good recollection for faces. I have a really awesome recollection for how things feel and that sort of stuff. So you're lucky to have the numbers one. I'm not a numbers person. Cannot remember formulae for my life, I do remember little bits, but I know how to work with things, but yeah. All right, let's see how Tony goes. Whee! Cool. Yep, your team has definitely stepped into the picture. They had a long way to come. It's only like 4.5 hours away on a plane, plus a 2-hour drive. Don't know what they're complaining about. Interesting. Oh, that was lucky. Funnily enough, we're just talking about, being able to remember, your very first phone number and things like that. I still remember my first phone number. It's bizarre when you get a first phone number and then it's like you ring it many years later and it's someone else's. It's a bit weird. Oh, this is too hard. Team, which one do you want? Okay, Tony, we got some homework for you, my dear. Yep, cool. There's an incredible book. It is called The Women of Lemuria. I don't know if you know it, but that's the book that's coming through for you to play with next in your reading list if you have not played with it yet. And if you have played with it, please revisit it. So yes, The Women of Lemuria. Give me 2 seconds. I'll see if I can find it. Here it is. Love having it right there. Okay, so that's what that looks like. It's channeled from Crown. Okay, and Monica Morani and with Dr. Amber Wolf. All right, so it's a really, really good book. I've actually got it on Audible as well as in hard copy form because it's like just such a good book. And I only do that with books that I just kind of go, oh, I wish I could like just go back and really read that bit again. So it covers all sorts of stuff around the women of Lemuria, but it's also to do, like, I can tell you from my experience of reading this book, I was so inspired and I felt like I was reading home. So I highly recommend it for you, because that's the book that's what's come through for me to tell you. Okay. And the reason is I have these incredible cards, and they are the symbols of Lemurian goddesses. And what we've got here is the goddess of joy, which is Malahika. So that's the symbol there. Okay. And my beautiful friend who lives in Hawaii recommended them for me. And she's like, oh my God, you're into the Women of Lemuria stuff. Like, have a look at these cards. So this particular card is talking about the goddess of joy. Realize by means of this energized goddess symbol card with which themes you resonate and which feel unpleasant to you, respectively. So have a look at, I'm going to say these words and you can come back. It's around about 1 hour 51 in the replay if you want to just jot that down somewhere. So have a look at these and see which ones you resonate with and which ones are unpleasant to you. Okay, so we've got easiness, success, relief, relaxation, equanimity, mirth, bliss, hope, cheerfulness, and confidence, but also frustration, disappointment, apathy, sorrow, anger, mood swings, and resignation. So have a look at each of those and see which ones are like more of a with, and which ones you're like, oh, I'm actually all right with that. Because there are people who are actually really fine with being disappointed with stuff. For example, like if a disappointment comes up and like then that sort of what most would go quote unquote let down, like a certain plan happened and like then the other person pulled out or something happened to make it not go through. Generally, like even for me, I can look at that and just go, oh, well, that's kind of disappointing, but oh well. And I let it go really quickly. So I have a lot of ease with disappointment these days. In the old days, though, before I really started on my journey, which isn't quite true, but you know, the conscious spiritual journey as opposed to the unconscious spiritual journey that we're all living, I used to get so wound up about when people disappointed me or like let me down through not following through with commitments or plans or anything like that. There was just so not a lot of allowance in my world for that. There was a lot of other stuff going on, which I won't go into right now, but it's like, it's interesting to feel the change. All right. So you can, Malahika is the goddess of joy. So you can ask for the goddess of joy to help you some more in your world. Okay. You can go up there. The next card that you've got, my love, is white, which is lighten up. Matches really beautifully with that card there, actually. So those elements that are on that card that are a little bit more crinkly for you, the ones that sort of make you go a bit, ask, how can I create more ease for me around that? What things does this activate me with? Not trigger, because the thing is, if we say trigger, what happens is we are drawn into the past. And when we start moving forward, when we talk about being activated, it's more of a, oh, wow, this is actually propelling me forward. There's a lot more lightness to it. So through the irritation, we can actually find the lightness, which then helps us to process faster and then move forward with it. So we're not holding on to that resentment, pain, anger, all of that sort of stuff. The next card that you've got is green, which is to revitalize your nervous system. So the fastest, quickest, easiest way to revitalize the nervous system is, everybody tell me, nature. And, you know, being so beautifully positioned as you are in Hamilton means that you have because I used to live there. So I know you have access to so many different types of nature. You have lakes, you have ocean, you have bush, you have rivers. They're all there. You just have to pick which one your body would like to to sit with. Because our nervous system only gets upset when we haven't connected in with nature so well and recently. Okay, it's when we get a bit frazzled because we're not nourishing and nurturing ourselves with nature. That's why it's green. This leads into our next one, which is violet, which is to create a balanced life. So this is about coming back to being in that space of, dare I say, the work-life balance, but it's also mind, body, heart, spirituality, energy, nature, creator, universe, source, whatever you want to call it, balance between all of those things. Work and life balance is only one very small aspect of who we be. And what this card is reminding you is there's many, many petals to this flower. So don't get hung up on one or two of them. Okay. Bring balance to all and allow them to contribute across all of them as well. Okay. The next card that we've got for you is indigo, which is about improving your vision. So what are you focusing on? What are you allowing yourself to spend your time looking at? What are you choosing to recreate in your world? And this is a really interesting one because it can come up when we're watching things like, say, YouTube or TikToks, or not that I have that on my phone, but it sort of comes through in the reels and things like that, the Facebooks and all of those sorts of things. Like, our body, when it starts to go, you know what, I'm kind of done with this, the body can get a bit irritated. It can get like really achy in different parts of the back, or it can make your tummy get a bit upset, or it can make you really thirsty. Teaching is my focus. Awesome. And within that, when are you allowing yourself time to integrate? I'm just curious. That could be something that's also to do with this. Because along with teaching, obviously, there's learning. There's our own expansion of knowledge, which I get that you also pass on, which is really cool. There's something more for you, though. There's an expansion more and different ways that you can relax. Be mindful of how you're relaxing. The next card that we've got for you is rainbow. So connect to spirit in nature. So the next time you get to go out, and here's a little, apart from reading the Women of Lemuria book, the next time you go, even to the Hamilton Gardens, that's a beautiful place to go. Take some time to sit and see if you can see or perceive the nature spirits, because they're all throughout there. They love the Hamilton Gardens. And I have a very dear soul sister who often goes that way. And she sees and, you know, tells me all the time about the things that she's seen and experienced in that area. And, you know, then when you get to go out, say Raglan or something, somewhere like that, when you go out to the beach and you can see, can you feel and see the water spirits that are around the ocean? Cool. Yeah. So we've got the lake, you've got the gardens, there's just so many beautiful things around the Hamilton area. Because it is reclaimed swampland, there's loads of lushness there, which is really cool. Not so great in the summertime when it's hot and humid. It's like 75% humidity. Lovely. So I get it. But yeah, there is still a lot of really beautiful places to go and see and experience. So yes, they're asking you to connect to spirit and nature, please. And not quite last but not least, we have watermelon, which is about having fun with your inner child. So when we're in teacher mode, quite often what can happen, and teacher, facilitator, same, we can forget to have fun. And having fun is just as important as the seriousness of life, of being an adult. So whatever that looks like for you, it could, funnily enough, I'm actually getting finger painting. So that's what I'm seeing, is I'm seeing fingers moving over paper. Or if you want to do it the clean way, you can get, paint in a really big Ziploc bag and make sure it's really well sealed. And then you can actually play with creating shapes and stuff in the paint in the Ziploc bag, something we use in childcare. Or actually do finger painting. I've seen one of my other friends here in Adelaide who is currently doing her art therapy studies, and she's literally done this absolutely incredible piece of art with her fingers, and only 3 colors, I think it was. And amazing. It's so amazing. She's actually literally framed it, and I'm so glad she has. How funny that your team showed me finger painting. So there we go. If you wish to learn it, please do so now. No time like the present. Go out, get some supplies on the weekend. And the card here is imagination. So it's time for you to start using your imagination. It's time for you to break free and create that balance to improve your vision, have fun, go and do some interesting things. And I mean, you can get into the form and structure of painting later. There's loads and loads and loads of YouTube stuff around different types and techniques that you can play with. Another friend of mine who is a beautiful artist, she does do a lot of stuff with watercolor and fine ink, like fine liner, and she creates all these beautiful flowers and all sorts of patterns and things using watercolor. And then she waits for it to dry, and then she uses a fine liner to go around it, which is just amazing. And then, you can learn so much off YouTube these days on how to get those like different petal shapes and stuff with the different types of brushes and things like that. It's just so cool. And quite addictive to watch, to be quite honest. Might be speaking from experience. But yeah, there we go. Have fun. You're welcome, Tony. Alrighty, we've got one more to go. Julie, my beautiful lady Julie. What question do you have? Oh, look, she's onto it. She's onto it already. Okie dokie. Bye, Tony. Thank you for staying up, and have an absolutely amazing weekend. Get creative, have fun, get in nature, and just have a jolly good time, okay? Alrighty, Julie. Health and purpose. even I had to ask my subconscious about my purpose. That was a big part of my QHHT session. No, it's all right. I'm just pondering how to approach that one. See which cards wish to come and play with you. Yes, I did. And a lot of it was around stuff that I already do, stuff that I already know. But it gave me a heck of a lot more clarity. I have a couple of things that I require to finish first, and like projects that are like really in my world to finish. And then there's multiple things that are going to happen, and one of them is going to be for me getting into nature myself and doing some intuitive writing while I'm in nature, because there's stuff that's going to come through, like channeled coming through, and there's going to be a new offering, a new way of me connecting with people, as in for a specific type of healing that is going to come through. It's all a bit vague at the moment, to be fair, but it's way more clear for me than what I was, because I was like, I've got so many skills and I've got so many different tools in my tool belt now, and I don't know. Before the session, I was like, I don't know where I'm supposed to be focusing my energies. So I'm really thrilled to be here with you guys, because you guys are keeping my practice up, which is fantastic, and I get to help and I get to contribute to you all, and all that sort of stuff. But there's just going to be a new offering, not necessarily a new technique, but I also get that in time the QHHT will add to that. So yeah, but yes, my purpose is very, very clear now. And it's fun. It's light, it's fun, it's joyful, it's who I be when I'm here. It's really, there is the more serious aspect to what I do and how I do it. And more will be revealed about that with this new offering. Sorry to sort of leave you on the tender hooks on that one. It's like it'll come. But yeah, it is very expansive, definitely. So, and it's going to help a lot of people, which is so very cool. I'm looking forward to it. But in the meantime, my team has told me, my subconscious rather has told me I have to continue to focus on doing one-to-one sessions and this podcast and things like that, and just continuing to do like either in-person or online sessions is really important, because the ripple effect of that is so much larger than I can consciously perceive. So that's really cool. Okay, cool. Okay. Let's jump back over here. Yeah, I haven't even shared that little part with my partner yet. That's how much it's sort of sitting. So me and the facilitator and I know about that, but but it's like, it's still very, very much integrating. This is a fun reading, Julie. Goodness, super fun. Interesting. All right. So, Julie, to start off with, I have 3 cards for you for your purpose. And it is from the Starseed Oracle deck. So that's this one. Okay. So to start off with, we've got this beautiful card here, which is the Child of the Cosmos card. Here we go. And it says, the intelligence of the universe lies within you. So what this tells me is that you, as the being that you are now, you have all the information that you could possibly ever require to know about your purpose and this world and many other worlds is all there with you right now. And what this card is telling me is that at the moment, you're still a little bit too 3D in that you're thinking my hand is solid, but my hand is not solid. It just looks solid. And so it's like there's that red pill, blue pill moment. And it's almost like you've taken half of the one that leads you through the matrix, but the other half is still sitting on this side. It's like you've got one leg each side. And so there's a lot of self-doubt that is popping up in amongst that. What I'm perceiving is this really is your time to choose. You have to choose one way or the other. And there's a lot that you can contribute to the collective moving forward, much like many of the others who have come through tonight. And it is important for you to comprehend just how valuable you are in this big, huge cog and wheel of the collective moving forward. And it is exciting. It is really, really exciting. The scary part is letting go of the things that we think we have to hold on to, including our belief systems and our points of views that are keeping us stuck in the 3D world. So there is some big changes for you up here, because it's all that those belief systems and the points of views are all sitting in the brain and the conscious ego space. That's the part that screams at you, no, we can't do that. No, we can't give up that belief system. No, we can't give up that point of view. It's kept us safe all these years. But what that actually does is it sabotages you from being able to move forward. Okay. And to really embrace the openness that this beautiful 5D world can give you. I don't know if I've got it out. So there is an amazing book by Maureen St. Germain, which is Waking in 5D. That is the book I'm going to ask you to perhaps go investigate, read, get it on Audible, get it on Kindle, whatever way you consume books. So Waking in 5D. This will really help you to be able to choose which way you're going, to become really consciously aware of the things, the actions, the words you're choosing even that is keeping you stuck in the 3D world. The other next part of your purpose is that you are an empathic starseed, and energetic sovereignty, absorbing what is not yours, is something that you have to be really consciously aware of. Let's see if I can get a better picture of that card for you. So there we go. All right. So she's just so beautiful, and she's like floating, and she's going towards this mirror, and she's thinking that all of these emotions and things are hers, but they're not. They're just the mirror. It's a looking glass as such, like Alice in the Looking Glass. As an empathic person, we are, and I know that you know this, we are so super aware of the energies that are around us. And when we have that space of being such a beautiful, caring nature, and we wish to just heal everybody and get everybody to feel happy and joyful and not be so serious all the time, and, just enjoy life. Sometimes our energy, and depending on which belief system you're working from, in the old ways, we used to believe that we had to take people's illnesses into our bodies to be able to digest them, heal them, and release them. That's not true. What is more important is that we encourage and inspire the person to release that pain, that trauma, that whatever it is, that illness from their own body for themselves, to heal themselves. You can inspire them to do that, but you don't have to pull that into yourself. And that's a really tricky belief system to remove. There's a big, massive process, a process/clearing that I do within my private sessions that I would never do on this platform, around releasing yourself from that old point of view. What that old point of view does is it actually pulls a part of the puzzle piece away from the person. And so they actually literally cannot heal what needs to be healed, because you're holding this piece of the puzzle back here with you. And meanwhile, it's stuck with you, and you're not able to heal it all either, because the rest of it is still with the other person. So this is where this beautiful tool from Access Consciousness is really amazing, because it's return to senders with consciousness attached, which is where we literally just say that whatever this is, whatever I'm aware of, please return it to senders with consciousness attached. And that consciousness attached means that it's the instructions on how to let them know how to heal themselves. And even if they do it in their sleep, that's pretty cool, because their subconscious mind is taking over at that stage and they know what to do. So I would highly recommend that you use that tool at the night time, return to senders with consciousness attached, because you are very empathic. And this is a beautiful skill for healing. It's an amazing skill for being able to, can I say, return to them with love? That's implied, darling. Consciousness attached is the set of instructions. With love, you can say with consciousness attached and unconditional love, if you prefer. It's all one and the same. But yes, the consciousness attached is quite important. So yeah, because otherwise they're still back at square one. They don't necessarily consciously know how to heal themselves. So it's basically you're giving them the instructions on how to do that, which is helpful, right? Because we all just want to help. The next, which is really funny because the third card on your purpose is this beautiful one here, which is the cosmic heart. Devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. Okay. So this is about finding within you your softness, your heart space, and how you can best communicate that and in through every single breath you take, every single step you take, every movement, every word, every action. Your purpose is to discover how to do that for you, and therefore how to do that and teach that and inspire that with others. You do and teach that through energy, through the energy that we emit every single day. Have you ever been in a room where you're feeling like top of the world, fully in love with just everything in life, and you've walked into a room where the energy's a little bit low, but because you're so full of life and full of beans and you're just like, yeah, I love being alive, in a little bit the energy of the room lifts? That's the magic that you be. Now, being that you have this cosmic heart space, there is a potency in your devotion to what you choose to do. And that within itself is the magic, right? So a lot of people don't know how to be devoted to anything. They don't know how to be committed to anything. And because commitment's scary. And that flows throughout all aspects of their life. So there's other things like learning what your values are and learning how you can best work with your values, because you can commit to your highest values without any trouble at all. But if you're not committing to if you don't know what your highest values are, cognitively know, it's very difficult to commit to them, because you can go, well, actually, that doesn't match my highest value, so I'm not choosing it. Freedom of energy, right? That's honoring of you, and there's a potency in that too. So your purpose, going by these cards here, is for you to unlock and acknowledge the fact that you are a child of the cosmos and you have all the information you could possibly require right here. And yes, there's acknowledgement of your capacities as an empathic person, and that your heart can change the world. And it already is. There's just, you have to be a little bit more cognitive about how you're using your heart and how you're treating your heart. Are you nourishing and nurturing and tending your heart from unconditional love? Or are you judging it or others? Because every time you judge something else, it's hurting your heart. Okay. Okie dokie. And your health. Interesting. Okay. Talking about judgment. So your health. You are sitting with the High Priestess at the moment. And there's a lot of black and white. There's not a lot of gray area. and there's a lot of judgment going on. It's like, bam. And this is what is stopping your health from moving forward. So the judgment aspect of sitting in the black and the white is not helping you, because it means that you're not being open enough to the other possibilities. So, for example, with my finger, if I had just stuck with the point of view of what I can read in my Ina Segal book or Louise Hay or whatever, I would not have been open to the fact that this is led, it's all part of this, which was actually a karmic contract with someone else in my family who literally believes that I have to support them. Even if they don't cognitively think it, energetically, that's what they were believing. And that's why they were digging in so hard. And that's why it was related to the finances. I had to be open-minded. I had to allow whatever information to come through. When it comes to you and your health, this is also something that's going to have to shift dynamically for you too. And there's I'm not sure if you have yeah. So with this one, you're going to have to soften a lot, and get into some really beautiful, kind, soft, gentle conversations with your body and ask it what it is requiring from you. What information is your body trying to give you right now? Because whatever is going on for you is information. That's it. Okay. So I'll give you another example from my session that I haven't spoken about yet. And I asked about my weight. I'm not a small girl. I'm sitting at around about a size 18. I have been less than that in my adult time, and I have been bigger than this. And my subconscious came back with, I just have to love my body like the African ladies do. My weight is inconsequential to the work I have to do. And when I was asked, or my subconscious was asked, am I holding on to weight? It said no. So there is no particular reason apart from the fact of increasing the amount of love and unconditional love I have for this incredible vessel that I have. That's my only purpose as far as weight goes. Now, could I sit there and analyze my body from top to toe, inside to outside, thanks to all of these amazing tools? Yes, I could. Is it important? Apparently not. There's more important things for us to do than sit there and worry about how much the scales say I weigh. That's pretty cool. So this week, what's happened is I've ended up going through my closet and getting rid of everything that makes me feel like I judge myself. If I go to put it on, it's like, does this make me judge me? Yes, it does. Okay, sweet, go. See you later. It's sort of the opposite of, but the same thing is what Marie Kondo says of like, does this bring you joy? Does this make me love me like the African ladies? Right? Judgment. That's what's going on with your body. We've also got the juggling of money. You're worrying too much about this. You're all up in your head about it. And all of the emotions are sitting up in your head. It's time to stop dancing around it. Too much monkey mind. Okay. As you start to, and the next card also adds into this one, because this card here, which is the Five of Wands, it's obvious, it's reversed, as you can see. And in this particular position, everything is topsy-turvy. It's like you're seeing the fight before the growth. The fight of everything, the fight of everything within your body, the fight of illnesses or dis-ease or the freaking monkeys, is playing heavier in your mind than the freedom of spiritual growth and being able to work with others. This card's a really interesting one because it depends on the reading as to whether you see it as people fighting or people working collaboratively. And I get that once you move out of this space of being in the fight and flight with your body and the things that it has to process and heal and the traumas that it has to heal, you'll start working collaboratively with people and having a lot of spiritual growth. But right now, you're sitting up here. Okay? Which is adding to this next one, which is the Nine of Wands. And what stands out here for me is this a lovely little gentleman standing right in the foreground with a bandage on his head. So again, you're feeling a bit battered and bruised. It's like, oh God, I've been doing this work for so long and it just feels like I'm not getting anywhere. I'm feeling a bit like stuck. I can't see the forest for the trees, man. It's time to let it go. It's time to let go of all of that stuff that you're using to beat yourself over the head with. All that anger, all that resentment, all the stuff from your past. It's time. It's time to let it go. And if you'd like to have someone to assist you in your journey, apparently King Neptune would like to come forward to help you out. And King Neptune is all about serenity. So helping you to find those serene places within you, which is not surprising actually, given that the Starseeds deck came out to play for your purpose. So along with helping you with your purpose, you can ask for King Neptune to come into your spirit team and give you some guidance on how to work with your purpose. You can also ask King Neptune to come through and assist you in helping you to release these aspects of your health that are holding you back from stepping forward in your own purpose, and so that you can be of a greater contribution to the collective. So he's quite a cool one to have in your, he's pretty spunky too, to be fair. So yes, sensitivity and serenity is the words that were coming to my mind with beautiful Neptune. And the sensitivity was obviously coming through there with your purpose as well, being an empathic starseed. So there's lots of yummy stuff for you to work with there. Okay, let's quickly do your yummy card. Kindness. I think perhaps that word kindness, that's something you require to have plastered all over the place to remind you, even maybe put it as a reminder on your phone, to say, you know, say something like, or in the morning, very first thing in the morning, before you get out of bed, ask that question of, where can I spread kindness in the world today? How can I spread kindness in the world today? And have that as part of your initial good morning, wake up, moving out into the world. Like as we are waking up, that's where we set the foundations for how we function for the rest of our day. And if you're waking up and you're in judgment, then guess what's going to happen throughout your day? But if you're waking up and you're feeling the unconditional love for your body and you're asking questions like, how can I spread kindness today? How can I be even more kind to my body today? How can I be even more beautifully, amazingly kind with the collective today? And then reflect on that when you go to sleep as well, so that you're still, because when we go to sleep, if you listen to Dolores Cannon's work, you'll know when we go to sleep, the body is the only thing that actually relaxes. The rest of us goes off elsewhere and does work. And if the last thing you're thinking about is the kindness that you've ever created in the world today or contributed to, or even just kindness of the plants, that also has an effect on the plant, on the being as it goes out and does its work in the nighttime. Pretty amazing, hey? So there we go. King Neptune for you, my dear. Alrighty. I hope that was fun for you. That was a good reading. I enjoyed that one too. See, I take a rest, have a little break, and kaboomga. Back into it. Happy days. Happy days. All right. So let me see. We are already 2.5 hours in. I'm getting a bit thirsty. Luckily, I have a really, really good bladder. No, you're welcome, Julie. Thank you for choosing to contribute to the donations. I'm very, very grateful for you. Okie dokie. So, what would we prefer? For the people who are left watching, I'm going to leave this up to you. Would you prefer me to do a quick round of gratitude poetry readings, or would you prefer me to do a healing, guided meditation healing? I'll give you a little moment to put that into the chat. So what would you prefer? A round of... Hi, Catherine. A round of gratitude readings, or like gratitude poetry book readings, or a healing guided meditation? Open to any possibility. Oh, see, you're listening. Or I can do a little bit of both. All right, let's do a little bit of both. So everybody get 2 now, because let's do it. I did update that one. Yay! But I need to make it longer. So in the chat now, put any number that the first number that pops into your head between 1 and 88. Julie's onto it. 22. So if you do that now, we're going to do a very quick round of poetry readings, and then I'll do a very quick guided meditation. Okay. So Julie, together in harmony. As you leave me tonight, I feel this strange feeling, one that I haven't felt in a long time. It's a feeling of peace, but also one of loss. Peace to know that you'll return, and loss that you aren't with me now. I want you to know that even if I can't say it at the moment, that I care for you, and that when we are apart, I'll be thinking of you. So this is just really nicely finger jointing onto your reading, Julie, in that there is going to be some periods of grief as you let go of those old belief systems and those old points of views. And the best way for you to move through that grief of letting those things go is to treat them as if they were real. Treat them as if they were your most favorite jumper that now has big holes in it and it's torn and it's threadbare. Give it that love and the compassion of saying, thank you so much for keeping me safe. And now it's time to go. Thank you. And now I'm open to new possibilities. So there we go. Yay. Thank you, Melinda. Okay. We've got 13 for Melinda. Us. Can't be lovers, can only be friends. Want to, but the feeling's just not there. Sitting, hurting, feeling foolish and wanting to cry, but can't now. Still want to be there, still want to find out more, still want to be friends with you, but still want to be with you, but only as friends. Feeling better, still hurting, thinking better now than later. Now, quite obviously, this is to do with your work. And there is, again, that period of letting go, of going, yeah, but I really wanted to stay. I really enjoyed that. Or I was comfortable there. And yet there's that point of them going, it's just not, you know. But the feeling's just not there, right? From the other side, it's just not there. So it might feel like you're feeling a bit foolish. It might feel like you want to cry. It might feel like, but you can't do any of that right now. And that's all okay. It's all part of the grief process. And the cool thing is that it's better now than later. Now is the perfect time for you to be now finding this next job, because the thing is, we're only in October. So you can secure another place, another position now before Christmas. People are not thinking the Christmas stuff is starting to come in. And for a lot of people in the retail sector or customer service sector, Christmas is like ramping up. They're starting to look for staff. They're looking for extra staff and all of that sort of thing. Now's the perfect time to be looking for extra work. So get out there, do it. You can do this, and let go of the hurt and the disappointment and the pain, and let go of the resentments and the rejection. I get the rejection is probably a bit harder for you on that one, or a bit more twangy. So yeah, do some processes around letting go of rejection from your body. Okay. Thank you, Melinda. Okay. Edwina. Spider fog. The water dribbled in rivulets like spiders running down my back. My body washed clean, unlike my heart, which was still in an early morning fog. Stepping out, aware that this truly was a new phase in my life. Those droplets swished away, and in an instant, the fog is clearing. So, Edwina, you are coming out of the fog. You're coming out of the 3D fog. You're moving into the 5D into the 5D clarity. And it is going to feel really weird, and it probably feels really weird already. And yet you can do this. It literally, in some cases, is as easy as stepping out of the shower. It's about conscious choice. And you being able to move through this stages and phases with as much ease and grace as you are already doing is quite incredible. So continue on being you and keep being the sparkly, amazing, delicious person that you are, because you are literally moving dimensions right now. And it's a weird one. It feels strange and confusing and sometimes quite lonely. So I'm really glad that you found us and this beautiful little community here, because this will make all the difference for you, because we're all going through it in some way, shape or form. So I appreciate you for that. Thank you for continuing to add to the whole collective moving forward. I appreciate you. And you got this. Alrighty, Catherine, thank you for joining in. 14. Realization. Why is it that when a person loves another, they can't see the obvious, that the other isn't feeling the same way? The hurt for the person is unbearable when they finally realize. They feel stupid that they just didn't see. But it's so much worse when it carries on for a long time. The person is denying the inevitable and falling deeper into the trap called heartache. All right. So, Catherine, I think we also have another one here who is stepping between dimensions. And like I just said to Edwina, it can sometimes feel very, very lonely. Because the people in the 3D world cannot understand a 5D perspective. And as we grow and shift and change, these loving relationships that we once had don't resonate anymore. And we may not want to see the obvious, that they and you just don't match anymore. So how do you best work with that? Flow unconditional love through to them. Allow them to continue to find you if that's what you desire. You can send them beautiful little threads of light, of unconditional love through to their hearts, from your heart to their heart, and allow them to continue to find you. So they can find you in new reference points that you are, rather than trying to find you and judge you for not being the old reference points that they currently have. I would highly recommend doing this at nighttime. Doing it during the day is a little bit tricky. But yeah, basically all you have to do is just lie in bed at night, just as you're sort of drifting off and just relaxing back. And when we think or we pray, or however you wish to do this, about the people that we love and wish to be connected to, you can imagine that there is like this beautiful thread of light, not necessarily golden, just FYI, but just this beautiful thread of light. You can do rainbow, opalescent if you like, because white opalescent light is very representative of unconditional love anyway. So you can send that thread of white opalescent light over to that person or people, and and send it with the request or the wish that they continue to find you in whatever form that you're in. Okay? So it's an interesting one. The other one that this could be about is an ending of a relationship. So either way, have fun with that. Yeah, upgrades are fun. What can I say? All right, that's enough of that. So very quickly, because it is Friday the 13th, and people just love Friday the 13th, and they love judging Friday the 13th. Let's do our lovely little expanding out, and then we might do a really quick blessing, I think. Sending some unconditional love throughout the planet to help ease a lot of those judgments and ease the pathway for the people to choose into the 5D realm of peace and kindness and telepathic abilities. And, you know, there's the comprehension of the reality of living in a 5D world, that we know that what we do to one, we do to all. So when we love somebody unconditionally in the 5D realm, we love everybody unconditionally. When we judge one person, even if we judge ourselves, we are judging everybody, which is basically harming everybody. And the reality is that many of us are already functioning and floating between those worlds anyway right now, which is why we sometimes feel a bit weird and crunchy and have weird night sleeps, and our tolerance levels can be a bit low and all that sort of stuff. So I certainly know that for me, that my frustration levels and my tolerance levels have been very low over the last few weeks, and part of it was because I required to rest, but the other part of it is just all of these galactic changes and the changes within our dimensions that are happening right now. So as we move together as a beautiful collective, let us all close our eyes and have a big deep breath in right down to the bottom of your belly, please. And breathing out. Take another big deep breath in, all the way down to the bottom of your belly. And breathing out. And this time, as you take a big deep breath in, taking that breath all the way down to your feet. And breathing out. From your head all the way down to your toes and your fingertips. Letting them all relax. Take another big deep breath in, and this time bring Mother Earth all the way up through your body. And as you breathe out, bring Father Sky energy all the way down from your crown, down through your shoulders to your fingertips, through your body to your toes. Bring Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up. And now Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. And now remembering how to expand out your awareness. And if you've been feeling a bit crunchy and cranky like me, then you probably find your awareness is exceeding your allowance right now. So let's expand out our awareness even further. Let's go greater than the planet and greater than the solar system, greater than the galaxies, and greater than the universes. And if you wish to go further than that, you're more than welcome to do so. And you guys are really amazing. That's why I know I can do this really quick with you guys tonight. Now let's focus on our bodies once again and grab your sense of allowance. Remembering that the allowance and expanding out the allowance takes you from being the tight, contracted little pebble at the bottom of the emotional river, the raging river of everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and transfers you up to being a big, beautiful, fluffy cloud as you expand out your allowance, where you can perceive and be aware of the thoughts, feelings, and emotions of that raging river and not be at the effect of it. You just see it for what it is. Now expanding out your beautiful allowance out beyond the size of the room, beyond the size of the building, in a big bubble up into the sky, down into the earth, expanding out your allowance beyond the size of the country, beyond the size of the planet, beyond the size of the solar system, expanding out your allowance beyond the size of the galaxies, beyond the size of the universes, and now beyond the size of your awareness, please. Beautiful. Now, there was some really beautiful, very, very potent healings that I did in conjunction. Keep your eyes closed and just keep breathing nice and deeply. That I did in conjunction with a group of 6 or 7 other beautiful beings in their spirit teams. This is going back a couple of years ago when things were really, really crunchy in the world. And I was reminded of these healings that we did back then. So what I'm going to ask you to do now is to gather your team around you. Just imagine the beings of your team, and it doesn't matter if you can't see them. The intention is what is important. So we're calling on all of your spirit teams that are present today. And first of all, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you to every single one of them for coming and contributing to tonight's readings and giving you the guidance and the clarity that you require to move forward with your lives. My deepest gratitude and thank you for your assistance tonight. And now I'd like you to perceive the love, the unconditional love, which is now flowing from your spirit team through you. Feel it in your heart. Feel it through every single cell and molecule of your bodies. And now I'd like you to send out beautiful, unconditional love radiating out from your body through every single member of your spirit teams. And if you can't necessarily perceive your team, that's okay. Just imagine pulsing out of your entire being, out of every cell and molecule, that beautiful unconditional love light, that opalescent white light heading out through every single cell and molecule of your body, just gently glowing from all of you. And your spirit team is there, whether you perceive them or not, whether you're willing to receive them or not. And they are also receiving your unconditional love. Receive them as they're around you, or perhaps they're in a semicircle behind you because you're the one that's leading the way. And now as you join up with the other people, just sending out that beautiful beam of unconditional love, imagine that unconditional love as well as the unconditional love of your spirit team. Expand that out. Expand that out over the planet, through the land, through the country, through the waters, through the mountains and all the fauna and the flora, sending it all the way out and through all the soils and everywhere that your beautiful unconditional love touches, contributes to the nourishment, nurturing, and healing of this beautiful planet, and leaves residues of gratitude and unconditional love. And as you stretch out your beautiful unconditional love and healing capacities, you'll begin to feel and perceive the other people doing this as well within this group. You may have already become aware of them. Might feel a bit light and tingly and warm. And when that happens, allow each other's energy to just accelerate and accentuate the energy that you have. Allow it to contribute to each other. Beautiful. And now let's all as a collective continue that energy to go all the way around the rest of the planet, sending some love, unconditional love and gratitude through every single cell and molecule throughout the rest of the planet, all the way around and all the way to the North Pole and the South Pole, all the way around the equator. And as you do this, take a big deep breath. And breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. And once more breathing in. And breathing out. And as your energy, your beautiful unconditional love and gratitude floats all the way around the planet in a big, beautiful, warm hug blanket of unconditional love and gratitude, where you are now boosted up and bolstered up by the other people doing this exercise tonight, now and into the future. Allow that energy to return to you now. Allow all that beautiful unconditional love and gratitude to nourish and nurture every single cell and molecule in your body, all the way to the tips of your hair, tips of your fingers and your toes, and everything in between. Allow it to move through all of your chakra centers. As we know from tonight's readings, there's at least 12 Atlantean chakras. So let's move that beautiful energy through all the 12 Atlantean chakras. Take a big deep breath in. And breathing out. And as you breathe in, you can choose now to leave your energies, or rather this beautiful unconditional love energy floating around the planet, or breathe it right back through so that it's within the beautiful, safe, expansive collective of you and your spirit team. think most of you would prefer to do that. So breathe in now and bring that energy all the way back, leaving behind the residues of unconditional love and gratitude for the nourishment and nurturing of the planet. And breathing out and integrating that within yourself. And now bringing Mother Earth energy all the way up through your body as you breathe in again. Breathing out, bringing Father Sky energy all the way down, just balancing out that masculine and feminine energies. Breathing in, bringing Mother Earth and unconditional love all the way back up. Breathing out, bringing Father Sky energies and gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You may open your eyes when you're ready. How did you go with that one, my beautiful friends? Are you still awake? Oh, dear. And lots of love to you too, Julie. I hope you have a magical week and weekend. You're welcome, Edwina. Thank you for all the magic that you're doing every single day. Yeah, that was a good one. I liked that one very, very much. All right, my beautiful friends. I am going to disappear now, and I wish you all the very, very best for the coming week. Please remember to keep that kindness and compassion as your number one priority. Keep flowing with the feminine flows as opposed to the crunchy of the masculine that it can be sometimes, and allow yourself to just be gently, beautifully, wonderfully you, remembering that there is quite likely going to be some crunchy moments coming up this week. So keep kind, be gentle, be kind to you, be soft, breathe, have those moments of going, if I was to approach this from the space of unconditional love, what would I choose? That's going to be really important. So maybe write that down somewhere. And I wish you all the best and all the luck in the world. All right. So until I see you next Friday for Find You Fridays, go do something tasty for yourself. Do something kind and nice and nourishing. Maybe it's a bath. Maybe it's a walk in nature. It's just sitting in a garden somewhere. And in the meantime, be bold, be brave, be you, my beautiful friends. I'll see you next time. Bye.